Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Old Trafford, was just about to get underway, but we are now underway. We are not underway. There was a bit of a confusion. The players were taking the knee at the start of this match. Then Højlund kicked the ball off, but now finally Andy Madley has confirmed the game is underway here between Manchester United and Brentford. Two sides are out of form, but needless to say it will be the home side. Manchester United will be feeling more of the pressure today. It's almost a free hit for Brentford really, although they should be looking to try and get in as good a performance as they can, considering that they haven't made a particularly auspicious start to this season. As for Manchester United, of course, under pressure straight away here. The ball at the edge of the area being closed down there by Christian Norgard, but a quick pass from Casemiro over towards the right-hand side. United now looking to play out from the back as a long ball going up towards the half, and that one is cut out by Ethan Pinnock. And the second ball going out for a throw to Brentford. So I'll just remind you of the two teams very quickly. There's Andre Onana in goal for Manchester United. A back four of Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans and Diogo Dalot. The two holder midfielders are Casemiro and Sofian Amrabat. The three ahead of them, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount and Marcus Rashford, with Rasmus Højlund as the front man. For Brentford is Thomas Strakosha, who starts this afternoon. A back three of Nathan Collins, Ethan Pinnock and Christopher Ajer. The two wide men are Mads Roerslev and Aaron Hickey. Three in midfield, Mathias Jensen, Christian Norgard and Vitaly Janelt, with Johan Wissa and Brian Mbumo as the two up front. Brentford keeper Strakosha immediately under pressure to hoist the long ball out. It does go out for a throw, but it is closer to the halfway line here, and the throw from Lindelof cut out here by Jensen. Playing back towards Ajer, and now back to Strakosha. Ball out towards the left-hand side this time. The word from Brentford is that Mark Flekken came down with an illness this morning, meaning that their second keeper, Strakosha, gets the start this afternoon, and third keeper, Elemi Balcom, is actually on the bench today. As I say, there'll be more than a few Brentford fans who'll feel as though it's no bad thing. Flekken has had a difficult start to his time at the GTEC, and has cost Brentford a couple of quite straightforward goals, really, it has to be said, over the last few games. But a long ball forward here from Roerslev, trying to get Brian Mbumo into the game, but that's a good bit of work there from Johnny Evans, cutting that ball out and keeping United in possession down the right-hand side. This is one of 4 games being played in the Premier League right now, as well as this game. It's Burnley, Chelsea, Everton, Bournemouth and Fulham against Sheffield United. Any goals going in those games I will let you know. And in the earlier game today, a 10-man Tottenham won 1-0 away at Luton Town. But back here to Old Trafford, it's Brentford on the attack down the right-hand side. Long ball out towards Roerslev, holds it up and plays it back in towards Jensen. He's around 30 yards out, back to Roerslev here on the right. Being put under pressure there from Dalot. So the ball now played back towards the halfway line, in fact all the way back towards Strakosha at the edge of the Brentford penalty area. It's been a difficult time for Strakosha since he arrived in England. He's barely had any first team football here with Brentford at all. Just the one league, didn't make a league appearance I should say last season. Just the one cup match for the Bees. It has had the opportunity today. Something tells me that as the afternoon progresses, he is going to have some work to do. Brentford haven't had the most confident time in defence this season. But so aside from Brentford's problems, Manchester United, of course, having some real problems of late in that game against Galatasaray in midweek. That was following a 1-0 defeat at home to Crystal Palace, which was even more frustrating because they beat Palace in the League Cup just a few days earlier. It has been very difficult for Erik ten Hag's side to pick up any kind of rhythm this season. But Brentford now going forward here. Long throw from Jensen, picking out Mbumo down the right-hand side. Holds it up, plays it back to Jensen, who finds a good pass here to Janelt. And now it's Roerslev into the box, trying to play that one across the 6-yard box. Wissa was waiting, but Lindelof is there. He cuts it out, and Brentford have the first corner kick of the afternoon. The point's been made over the last few weeks as well that the problem for United at Old Trafford is that they don't make the most confident start. They do invariably concede the first goal. Brentford will be looking to capitalise on that. It's a short corner played towards Janelt at the edge of the area. Now it's with Hickey. Hickey going for goal, and it's not too far away. Brentford players with their hands up, feeling as though there might have been a touch there from Andre Onana. I don't think there was. Hickey playing as left back today, to cover for the season-long injury of Rico Henry. In fact, I don't think it was a case of Onana. There might have been a suggestion it took a deflection off the shoulders there of Højlund. But looking at that one replay, I'm not sure that there was. Goal kick given, and a long clearance now from Onana straight down the middle onto the head of Ethan Pinnock. Headed on as well by Janelt, but that one is cut out. Long ball forward now from Johnny Evans. And out for a throw to Brentford down the right-hand side. It's Roerslev leaving this one now for Ajer. Certainly 5 minutes on the clock, and Brentford enjoying more possession, certainly trying to get forward more in these early stages. Whether or not Manchester United just need to step up a little bit. Mount trying to close down here on the left-hand side as the ball goes back. That's not a good clearance though from Szczerbakowicz, very nearly picked up by Marcus Rashford. But if that's an issue for Szczerbakowicz, then United are going to try and capitalise on that, because Brentford do like to play out from the back. They do like to involve their goalkeeper. Of course, that's still a fallout from when David Raya was in the team, and he really was very confident with his feet. But here come United now. This is a great long run here from Diogo Dalot. Gets all the way to the edge of the area. Ball now from Bruno Fernandes, stopped at the edge of the box. United still with a chance to try and get that ball in. It's Amrabat's ball into the box. He aimed at Rashford. Rashford appealing that there should be a corner kick there. I'm not sure that referee Andy Madley agrees. No, he doesn't. I thought for a second that the players might be congregating for a corner, but it looks like everybody is moving back into the middle of the park. It was held up on the right-hand side of the penalty area, then swung in by Amrabat. I'm not so sure that there was a touch there after the header from Rashford. Aya now bringing the ball forward for Brentford down the right-hand side, finding Mbeumo. He's got Johnny Evans just in front of him, and Mbeumo gets it onto his left foot. He's got Wissa breaking into the box. Here is Yohan Wissa now. Angle is far too tight to shoot. He goes back to Mbeumo, and that's a heavy touch from the Cameroon international. But Brentford winning back just at the edge of the area. Norgard finding Jensen. Now it's Roslef on the right-hand side. His ball in. A very acrobatic attempt there from Mbeumo. But he had to time that one absolutely to perfection, and he doesn't manage to do that. It's now with Bruno Fernandes down the right-hand side, leaving it here for Diogo Dalot. Actually had Lindelof playing as the right back and Dalot as the left back, but looking at the way United have set up, it is exactly the opposite. It is Lindelof playing on the left-hand side. United going on the counter here. Jensen bringing down Mason Mount. Mount asking the question of Andy Madley, should there not be a yellow card for the Brentford man? To the referee, deciding that there's no need on this particular occasion. Just a free kick to United, still inside the centre circle. Amrabat with the short ball now to Casemiro. Back towards Johnny Evans. As I say, a lot's been made of the transfer of Johnny Evans over the summer. Certainly no doubting of his experience, and bringing a steady hand, a steady head towards that United defence. But it just shows, I mean, a couple of seasons ago, well, certainly United of old wouldn't have considered re-signing a player like that in their current situation, but it just shows you that they are trying to get a little bit of stability. Meanwhile, we have our first goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon. It's James Garner that's put Everton 1-0 up against Bournemouth. It's another one of those games from the bottom of the table where both sides really need to win it. Although I have to say, doing commentary of the Everton game away to Brentford a few weeks ago, I thought Everton were excellent that afternoon, just as Brentford were very ordinary. But since then, Sean Dyche's side haven't really been able to kick on. So a win against Bournemouth today would be just a ticket. But back here at Old Trafford, 8 minutes on the clock. Goalless between Manchester United and Brentford. After the first 3 or 4 minutes of the Bees being quite free-flowing here at Old Trafford, things have just slowed down. United are pressing higher up the field, which is a pretty sound way of trying to stop Brentford from playing. But now they're trying to push forward here down the left. Nathan Collins trying to get a ball in towards Yohan Wissa. Put out for a throw to United down the right-hand side. Dalot trying to launch that as far down that right-hand side as he can. It's kept in play here by Højlund, but he's very wide on the right-hand side. He needs some support, and eventually goes back towards Dalot. Ball now played across, which is cut out by the head of Yohan Wissa. He gets there ahead of Lindelof as well. He could have gone on the run, but he was being tracked by Amrabat. Leaves the ball here for Jensen. Now he spots a really good pass down the right-hand side to find Roslef, and he gets to the edge of the area. He's only got Mbeumo to work with. Wissa now joins him on the right-hand side. He should ideally would have gone into the box there, really. But United holding firm here at the edge of the area. Roslef back to Jensen. Jensen to Roslef again. Challenged there by Marcus Rashford. Wissa keeping the ball alive for Brentford. Played into the middle now. Janelt does well to control that, and he finds Roslef. First time ball into the box. It's just a little bit too short for Yohan Wissa. He turned and lost sight of the ball momentarily, and that allowed for a quick run back in from Johnny Evans to cut the pass out. It's cleared up towards the halfway line. Højlund against Pinnock. Pinnock using his experience there, just lets that ball bounce and then takes it off Højlund. But now he plays it out towards Aaron Hickey, and Hickey sold a bit of a hospital pass there. And he's forced to bring down the Manchester United man to stop him going on a counter down that United right. And in doing so, the Scotland international will be the first player in the book. He was robbed of the ball there by Bruno Fernandes. But really, Ethan Pinnock should be taking half of that yellow card for himself, because it was a pass he played to Hickey that really put his teammate under pressure there straight away. and Hickey becomes the first player in the book. So United now could have thought about playing it long into the box, just deciding to go back towards the halfway line. Now they've moved the ball over towards the left-hand side. Rashford spotting the run of Højlund. Højlund trying to get a cross in. It comes off the feet of Ethan Pinnock, and it's out for a corner kick. United's first corner kick of the day. It's taken them exactly 10 minutes to get that first set piece. First chance to really test this Brentford defence. And certainly, scout report on the Brentford's first keeper, Mark Flecken, would be that he's not the most confident on crosses. I've only ever seen Szczerbakowicz play for Brentford on one occasion before. He has only played 2 games for the Bees, but now waiting to take this is Mason Mount, aiming for that near post, and it's headed away out for a second corner kick to United. Bit of a Scandinavian battle there. It was Lindelof of United against Norgard of Brentford, Sweden against Denmark, but it's the deflection off the Dane that puts it out for another corner kick. Towards the, once again, it was Mount deliberately aiming for the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a very low corner, and it's easily dealt with by that Brentford defence. Swept up towards the halfway line, and Boomer was chasing it. And that's well tracked by Marcus Rashford. He goes back to Onana, and it's a good long ball as well from Onana. Headed up at the edge of the area by Mason Mount, only cleared up towards Marcus Rashford. So that was a bouncing ball. Rashford could see it was heading out, so he just lets it go. Out for a throw to United now. Rashford back towards Johnny Evans. So they're now to Harry Maguire towards the right-hand side. Ball over the top. So on this occasion, it's Bruno Fernandes who puts the ball in, and it needed that touch from Ethan Pinnock. He didn't get much of a touch on it, but Højlund was there waiting to dive on that, and it was Ethan Pinnock looked to try and hook it away. He only got a touch on it, but it was enough to at least deflect the ball away from Højlund. United looking a lot more dangerous in these last few minutes. Lindelof now squared to Harry Maguire. And now it's Dallow's ball into the box. Just a little bit too high for Højlund. It's always a difficult one when you're crossing from a central position. It's almost like a diagonal, hardly any angle on the ball, really. Pretty much straight down the middle there for Højlund to try and work. We'll just see a replay here. Was he offside? I don't think he was. If he'd got a touch on that, sent it goalwards, I think it would have stood. Szczerbakowicz with a short goal kick to Collins. He's under pressure straight away here, the Albanian international, and clears a long ball down the right-hand side, which is out for a throw on to United. Well, we've only had 12 minutes on the clock, and the Brentford keeper's put his hands up 3 times already to apologise for a poor pass or a poor clearance. I think Brentford may have to rethink their tactics somewhat if they're going to insist on playing out through their keeper every time. You saw how quick Mount and Højlund were to try and close down Szczerbakowicz there, as well as it's Rashford's ball towards the edge of the area. Pinnock flicks it up in the air. I think it's caught Højlund as well. He's down on the ground here, the young striker. And I think referee Andy Madley is going to stop play here because he's decided that there is a head injury there against for the United forward. Højlund just picking himself up here. I think what's happened here is that he's been caught flush in the face with the ball. I think as Pinnock was volleying it clear, pretty much catches Højlund square in the face, and needed a moment to pick himself up. The physio wasn't needed in the end. And I think after all of that, it actually turns out that there was an offside. So Brentford would have had the ball back anyway, regardless of the injury. A goal at Turf Moor to tell you about, and this one is an interesting one. It's Odobert that's given Burnley the lead against Chelsea. Wilson Odobert making it Burnley 1, Chelsea 0. Must say, doing the Fulham-Chelsea game on Monday, I thought that did look to me as though Pochettino's side turned the corner. I mean, Fulham weren't up to much in that game, it has to be said, but Chelsea started confidently, moved the ball around well, and you just felt that having won in that local derby against Fulham, travelling to Burnley today would have been the sort of game that Pochettino's side would have fancied. But I'll get back to that in a second, because here come United now. Lindelof has pushed forward, and he very nearly plays a very effective 1-2 there with Højlund. Not sure what Victor Lindelof was suddenly doing, pushing forward at the edge of the Brentford penalty area, but it's almost paid off. The Bees now clear the ball up towards the halfway line, and Hickey has been brought down, and that's a strong challenge as well. And Harry Maguire puts his hands up as if to say he doesn't see anything wrong with that. The Brentford players want a yellow card there for Maguire. I don't think Madley, our referee, was ever going to consider that. Just see, it's overplayed. Well, he's trodden on Hickey rather than actually showing studs up there. So I think if he was just a little bit closer to Aaron Hickey, that same sort of contact potentially could have led to a yellow, but as it stands, I think a free kick with no card is probably the right decision. 15 minutes gone, unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary of the game at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Brentford 0. Bright start for Brentford. First 5-6 minutes would say they were shading it, but the last 10 minutes or so United looked much better. But just as I say that, here come the bees now. Mbumo leaving the ball for Wissa, who breaks into the box. The angle is tight. He goes for goal anyway. He didn't really have any other option there, Johan Wissa, because there was nobody in the box to pass to, and the ball deflects off Johnny Evans, and Brentford now have a corner kick. The first corner kick was a short corner, which was played to the edge of the area before a strike from Aaron Hickey went over the bar. So we'll see what variation the bees want to go for this time. It's, just standing over it now. It's a short ball again to Vitaly Janelt. Janelt sets up Hickey again. Hickey's going to go for goal again, is he? Yes, he is, and he goes wide. Not quite sure that doing the same trick twice in a row is going to be too effective, although Hickey actually had more space for the shot this time than he did the first time round. Looking at this replay, I don't think Onana was ever really too concerned. The United keeper barely even dropped his shoulder. He wasn't even close to diving for that one, so we could see that Hickey's effort was going at least a couple of yards wide. Ball back in play. Ayer heading it back towards Pinnock. Almost finding Højlund by accident there, but Brentford just about keep possession. Collins over towards Hickey now on the left-hand side. To Collins again. Hickey under a bit of pressure. It's towards his own keeper now. Strakosha has been closed down there by Rashford. That's a much more confident clearance there from the Bees keeper, but it goes straight onto the head of Harry Maguire on the halfway line. Here come United now with Casemiro towards Diogo Dalot. Back now to Amrabat, playing in his more established central midfield role. Within the emergency left back, he's already been asked to be a couple of times this season. With Maguire. Space here for Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro back going towards the area. He did have Mount and Rashford waiting there, but United quite happy to just build on possession here for the time being. From the right hand side now, a quick 1-2. Dalot getting away from his man, and Hickey's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow. The cross coming in, it gets a deflection. It's just about reached Marcus Rashford. Had to go a long way to get that for United, but Rashford now up against Nathan Collins on the line, having to play it back. Dalot's cross misses Højlund. It almost gets through towards Mason Mount before it's quickly cleared by Christopher Ayer up towards the halfway line. Johnny Evans now over towards the right hand side, taken down by Bruno Fernandes. Played forward here. No chance though for that pass from Mason Mount to reach its target. It's played back towards the edge of the area again. Brentford doing well, just holding a line at the edge of their own penalty area, but United having a lot of time and space here to try and move the ball around from left to right and then back again. Really able to get closer to the penalty area at this point. It's with Maguire now to Johnny Evans, square to Victor Lindelof, being closed down here by Mathias Jensen, but Lindelof still with plenty of time to get that ball back towards his goalkeeper Onana. And a long clearance from Onana, that's deflected by Hickey, and it goes straight through to Højlund. This is a great chance now as he gets through to the edge of the area, finds Mason Mount. Mount drops the shoulder, looking to try and get a shot away, plays it square to Amrabat. Amrabat now back in towards Mount. There was Dalot as well in between, but the pass is cleared up towards halfway line. United come back here again with Bruno Fernandes at the edge of the area. Dalot now over towards the right, the cross comes in, good header away by Pinnock. Amrabat keeping it alive for United, heading it over towards the left-hand edge of the box here for Marcus Rashford. Rashford gets away from Ayer, tries to put a cross in. It's Ayer's challenge. Ayer's furious with the referee. He felt as though there wasn't a corner kick, but referee Andy Madley disagrees. He says that there will be a corner now to United. Chance to get this ball in to the penalty area. And the first couple of corner kicks we saw from United weren't all that impressive. They were sort of, short balls played towards the near post. In fact, not the near post, but the edge of the 6-yard box on the near post side, if that makes sense. And thought that it made it too easy for the Brentford defence. Bruno Fernandes this time on corner kick duty puts a lot more height on that one. It's headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box. More central position this time. Rashford's ball in is headed away by Pinnock. Back with Bruno Fernandes, he lifts a long ball out towards Maguire. Maguire heads it along the 6-yard line, and there was a chance there potentially for Højlund, but Collins gets there first, and now there is a chance here for Brentford on the counter as Mbeumo crosses the halfway line. He's got support from Wissa. Wissa gets the ball off Mbeumo, gets to the edge of the area. United are back in numbers now. The attack's slowed down here for Brentford, and it's now currently, I'm not exaggerating, 7 United players to Brentford's 2, and in the meantime it turns out that there was actually a foul. I was going to say there was going to be an offside, but it couldn't have been an offside because Brentford were counter-attacking with the United last man already in his own half, so there couldn't have been an offside. There was obviously a foul that the referee spotted in the build-up to that counter. I must admit, they must have been out of shot just as the ball was played. But Andy Madley, I mean, he had his back to it, so his linesman must have told him that. But it's Mason Mount who's put the challenge in, and that's what's led to a free kick here to Brentford. In a decent position as well. It's probably just a little bit too far to think about the shot, but certainly close enough to think about a cross, as Thomas Frank isn't happy here. He's having a quick word with our fourth official. It's Mr. Martin this afternoon. Steve Martin is our fourth official. Of course, a few Football League officials having to get a promotion after the shenanigans last weekend, but it's Mbeumo's ball into the box. It needs a touch off a Brentford player. And again, both sets of players looking for the decision that they wanted. United want a goal kick, Brentford want a corner. I think it has been given as a goal kick. It's hard to tell. There's a suggestion it might have flicked off the top of the head of Casemiro, but I can't be sure after that one replay. And then United have restarted play quickly here, and Bruno Fernandes has got really far forward, and he plays it across to Mason Mount. Mount's shot, it's a good challenge there. Diving in, Ethan Pinnock stops that ball heading towards goal, but Mount has another chance, puts across it. Again, it's Ethan Pinnock, the Jamaica international. They're deflecting that one out for a throw. And Pinnock will leave this for Diogo Dalot. Game opening up nicely now, though. Just the sort of match that I was expecting, really, with two sides that are certainly better going forward than they are in defence. And United now with this throw. I thought Dalot may want to send it long. It's just a short ball to Bruno Fernandes. Gets it back from Dalot again, but then it's a really poor cross from Bruno Fernandes. He wasn't forced into taking it first time, but he just hoists it towards the edge of the 6-yard box, lifts it way too high, and it's away for a Brentford goal kick, as we see this last counter-attacking opportunity for Manchester United. Really was excellent work from Pinnock to stop Mason Mount, not once but twice. The first challenge was the more important one. He stops Mount's shot, which was clearly heading on target, from actually reaching his goalkeeper, and then he also made sure that Mount's attempt to cross was put out for a throw. Brentford playing out from the back, and again Strakosha, not the most confident ball out towards Hickey on the left-hand side, but he does keep it in play here, Aaron Hickey. And now he goes square to Mathias Jensen, quickly switching play over towards the right-hand side. It was a good idea, just a little bit too much zip on that pass from Mathias Jensen. So when that hit the turf, there's little chance of Roslev keeping that one in play. And it is out for a goal kick to Manchester United. 23 minutes gone. We are halfway through this first half. It is goalless between Manchester United and Brentford, as it is at Craven Cottage between Fulham and Sheffield United. And in the meantime, Brentford have won the ball back here at the edge of the United penalty area, but there was a foul there from Yohan Wissa. He was challenging on Johnny Evans, and referee Andy Madley's having a quick word there with Wissa. I'm not sure if he's warning him out a potential yellow card, but it was United that took the goal kick short. And the ball played to Evans. I'll tell you what, there's not much contact there with Johnny Evans. I think the experienced Johnny Evans has learned, just like all big defenders have learned now, how to hit the deck when they have felt minimal contact. It's Wissa very unlucky not to get a penalty against Nottingham Forest last week, when goalkeeper Turner pretty much took him out when he was being closed down. Wissa there himself being taken out by Amrabat. That's not a nice challenge there from Amrabat, and I think Andy Madley, well, as I say, considering the only card we've seen so far in this game was for it was a tactical foul from Hickey, so I suppose that we haven't really seen a foul for any kind of aggression yet, but I didn't like that from Amrabat, and to me that's borderline yellow there for Sofian Amrabat. So for the time being, referee just deciding that a word is enough. Doesn't need to do any more than to warn the Moroccan for the time being. Kick to Brentford now on the right-hand side. United have set up a long way from goal with their offside. They're about maybe 5 yards away from the edge of the D with their offside right now. So they're trying to make it as difficult as possible here for Brentford to get close to goal. It's Jensen with the free kick. A couple of Brentford players have deliberately stood in an offside position. Now the ball is hoisted over towards the left-hand edge of the box. Collins heads it on. It's up in the air from Casemiro. Second chance maybe for Pinner because he heads that towards the penalty area, but that's dealt with by Højlund. Rashford dispossessed in front of his own box, but Amrabat mopping up here, running into Christian Norgard, who brings him down as well. And Amrabat holding his face after that challenge from the Brentford captain. Doesn't look to me as though there was too much in that, and surprise, surprise, he's back up on his feet now. Here's Sofian Amrabat. Brentford, though, win the ball back here. United guilty of being very slow with it from that free kick, and Wissa now getting towards the edge of the area. Oh, the pass is just behind the boom, but there's a second chance here. It's Jensen with the strike, and it's in the back of the net. Brentford take the lead on 26 minutes, and you've got to say that United as a team have got to take an assist for that goal because it's so chaotic. It was a free kick to United around 30 yards out from their own goal after a foul on Amrabat, and from that, the short free kick, Brentford win it back. And even when the first pass missed its intended target in the box, there were still enough Brentford players to get that one into the back of the net, and it's Mathias Jensen that gives the Bees the lead. It's given away in midfield by Casemiro. Great work from Mbeumo to keep that ball alive. And then Wissa heading towards the edge of the penalty area. He wanted to find Mbeumo with the pass. The pass was deflected, and then Lindelof's clearance hits into Diogo Dalot, I think it was. And then from there, it's Mathias Jensen. And even then, I think there's got to be a question mark over Andre Onana, because the effort from Jensen is obviously on target, but it wasn't hit with any kind of venom. Has he got a deflection? Is the goalkeeper unsighted? He seems to swipe his hand at it, Onana. It does get a slight deflection, but I'm not going to give too much of that towards Andre Onana. I think a goalkeeper, first goalkeeper for Manchester United, has got to do better with that. He gets a strong hand on it, and it somehow manages to squeeze in between his hand and into the back of the net. It's a bad error from the goalkeeper. I mean, he's now sort of holding like he's doing sort of goggles on his eyes, as if to suggest maybe that he was unsighted. The sun is in his eyes, there's no doubt about that, but that shouldn't be a revelation to him. This is his home stadium. As I say, I'm old enough to remember when a goalkeeper wouldn't even leave the dressing room without having a towel and a baseball cap as part of his match day kit to leave in his net, because sometimes the sun suddenly can come out from behind the stand or from behind the clouds, and all of a sudden goalkeeper can have problems seeing a ball, particularly if it's coming from a height. But yes, that's certainly shaken things up here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Brentford 1, and that just leaves Fulham against Sheffield United as the only goalless game in the Premier League this afternoon. United now need to get on the front foot. They need to do it quickly as well. They're already shown some signs of being the better side in this game for a period of about 10 minutes. But in fairness, the goal came just as Brentford were looking to get back into the game as a bit of an attacking threat. Here come United now, though, with Dalot. Dalot's ball in towards Bruno Fernandes. His shot is charged down. Second chance there for Højlund. He gets stopped, but then he wins it back off Norgard at the edge of the penalty area. United still with half a chance. It's Mount's ball played towards Amrabat, cut out there by Wissa. Second chance here potentially for United. It's played back towards Harry Maguire. Picked up now by Johnny Evans. And Evans towards Lindelof, who's playing in a very forward role here. He's almost like a attacking winger there, Victor Lindelof. He's as high up the field as Marcus Rashford is. United perhaps sacrificing a little bit of their defensive cover just to try and get back into this game as quickly as possible. Rashford now towards the edge of the area, taken down here by Højlund, back heeling it towards Marcus Rashford, but that one is dealt with. Janelt now playing it to Norgard. That's not a good ball from Norgard, and then there's potentially a foul there in Brentford's favour. No, referee says play on. Ayo was suggesting he might have been fouled, and Jensen and Lindelof clashing there. Lindelof landing a bit awkwardly, but Manchester United keep possession here. Bruno Fernandes holds the ball up. It's square now towards Diogo Dalot. Casemiro now back to Dalot, up against Hickey. Trying to keep a line there, back towards but down the right hand side now, where Casemiro joining the attack, plays it into Mount. Bit of a heavy touch there from Mount. That allows Nathan Collins to get a challenge in, but Brentford just struggling to clear their lines right now. United recycling it very quickly. And even Evans and Maguire are playing as almost additional midfielders here. Evans crashing into Johan Wissa. Referee says no foul. Long ball into the box. That's a comfortable save from Strakosha. And the Brentford keeper just pointing out to our referee Andy Madley that there is actually a Brentford player down, and Johan Wissa holding his nose. Andy Madley, obviously a brilliant doctor and physician, because he looks at Wissa, says there's no head injury there, we're going to play on. So as I say, I think referees in general should be slightly less confident on the pitch. I think we've seen a little bit too much of that over the last few years with VAR, where a referee is certain that something has happened or not happened on the pitch, and then it's almost like his mates in Stockley Park are scared to undermine him. It's not even a conspiracy theory. Mike Dean has as good as admitted that he on more than one occasion didn't tell the referee about a potential change of decision because he didn't want to put any more pressure on his mate actually doing the refereeing. But as I say, if VAR carries on like that, then it really is a waste of everybody's time. It's there to correct mistakes, not to try and prop up the referee's ego. But anyway, ranting over. United in possession here, heading towards the Brentford penalty area. Mount now square to Amrabat. Back to Mason Mount. Casemiro and Mount. Lovely exchange of pass here. And Højlund breaks into the box. He wanted a little bit too much time there, about 12 yards out, Højlund. And that just allowed a combination of Janelt and Collins to get a challenge in. Out for a throw to Manchester United down the right-hand side. 31 minutes gone. Unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary. Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. Mathias Jensen with the goal for Brentford, which came on 26 minutes. It was after a bit of a calamity for United in terms of the attacking possession they had. But we're just getting another replay of that chance where Dalot played it square to Bruno Fernandes. Again, it was excellent work from Ethan Pinnock just to get his body in the way. That's 2 efforts on target that Pinnock has blocked in this game. Now 1 from Bruno Fernandes and a bit earlier as well from Mason Mount. Brentford now win themselves a free kick just inside their own half. Referee just spotting a bit of an infringement there, and that will suit Brentford. They could do with a minute or two just to slow things down. After it has been a bit of an onslaught from United, but it had to be. That United were already quite sort of comfortable in terms of their attacking possession. Brentford had a minute or two of attacking play. United win themselves a free kick, give the ball away from that free kick, and then Brentford score. And now United desperately trying to level up this game as quickly as possible. All the suggestions are that the United hierarchy are happy with Ten Hag to have the time to be able to instill his own style and everything into this team. But as I say, no manager is unsackable in any league, but especially in the Premier League. It really doesn't matter who you are. If you've had 5 or 6 games without a win, then you're under pressure. And if you're at a club like Manchester United, then you're under even more pressure. Bearing in mind that United have won 3 games this season against Wolves, Nottingham Forest and Burnley. They're the only 3 league games they've won. They've also beaten Palace in a League Cup game. And that's it. Defeats everywhere else for Ten Hag. No draws yet at all this season. It's unequivocal from United. They either win or lose. Whereas Brentford have become a bit of a draw specialist this season. Only the 1 win in the Premier League so far for Thomas Frank's side before today. And their only other win in any competition this season was after penalties when they beat League 2 in Newport County away from home. So it's not been a great start from Brentford either. Could have that series of 3 defeats in a row back in September, away to Newcastle, at home to Everton, and then at home to Arsenal in the League Cup for that draw away to Nottingham Forest on the 1st of October. Last Sunday that was played. Brentford would have felt quite unlucky there. To say they did play with a man advantage, but frustrating for the Bees that they conceded so well. It was a great header from Dominguez to equalise, but as I say, if you've seen that goal, you have to ask yourself, how can a tall goalkeeper like Mark Flecken, he's only stood 2 yards off his line, and yet somehow that header managed to go over his hand and into the top corner? Really was poor judgment from the keeper. Must have lost sight of the ball at the crucial moment. But United in possession here in the Brentford half. Good challenge there from Casemiro, though he's left a bit on Mathias Jensen, but no foul. And here is Bruno Fernandes, finds Mason Mount at the edge of the area. Højlund now leaves it for Amrabat. Strong challenge there from Ayer. Ball flares up in the air, and it's a header from Hickey, who was pushed in the back, says referee Andy Madley. It was Diogo Dalot, just a little bit too keen to try and win that back at the edge of the Brentford penalty area. Thomas Frank looking as relaxed as always, sipping a bit of water, wearing a Brentford polo top. It's a lovely warm day right across the country. 20+ degrees in most places. across England today. A bit wetter up in Scotland, but as I say, we'll enjoy it while we can, because this is October after all. I think after the next few days, things are going to get back to normal, and then of course things are going to get very cold and wet and dark as we head into November. But things looking good here for Brentford, and this is a good run from Hickey as well. He's over the halfway line. He's got a couple of options. He tries to spread play out towards the right-hand side. It's such a shame that he just rushed the pass there. Thomas Frank applauding that one. Doesn't want his players to dwell on that too much. It's a shame, because Hickey could have actually picked out Roslev, and there was enough space for Roslev to get on the end of that. Just think that Brentford number 2 there, Aaron Hickey, just rushed his pass a little bit too much. As I say, both teams with quite a long list of absentees. In terms of Brentford, they're missing 3 or 4 very key players. Of course, Ivan Toney. The headline from that is, of course, that he's back in mid-January. Whether or not we ever see him in a Brentford shirt again, of course, I think there's a chance that we might do, because Brentford have got quite a few injuries to forward players. They're missing Kevin Schade as well. He's out for a couple of months. Damsgaard's out injured. De Silva's long-term injured. Baptiste has been injured. And of course Rico Henry, now confirmed in the last few weeks, he's out until the end of the season as well. Then as far as Manchester United, I mean, they're missing some key players, particularly in defence. When you look at Martinez, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Malacia, all these players out from defence, and Sergio Reguilón now joining that list as well. Sancho, of course, with his sort of self-inflicted exile. Amadou Diallo, young forward as well, currently on the injured list for Eric Ten Hag. That's United now in possession here down the left-hand side. Amrabat finding Lindelof. Now it's Rashford breaking into the box. Rashford still got it. He beats 2 Brentford players and fires that towards the near post, and Strakosha makes the save and then dives on the second ball as well. It was looking ominous there for Brentford, because Rashford just seemed very determined. It was good work here from Amrabat to move that ball away after getting it from Lindelof from the throw-on. Rashford just about stayed on side. He easily skipped past Wissa and then fired it low towards that near post. Strakosha did well though, got his body behind it, made the first save and then dived on the second ball as well. No chance for United get anything from that. Played back towards the Bees keeper. That's a very low clearance from Strakosha. Wasn't far from catching Højlund there, but the Bees do keep possession. It's up with Mbumo now. He's got Wissa ahead of him. The pass to Wissa just a little bit overhit, and that's enough for Harry Maguire to cut that out and to clear it towards the halfway line, where Rashford is up against Ayer. Ayer winning that ball off Rashford. And it must have been a clean challenge, because even Rashford didn't complain. But now here is Jensen down the right-hand side, square to Mbumo. Mbumo looking to shoot. He gets his shot away. He doesn't get enough curl on it. It's a favourite of Brian Mbumo's a left footer playing on the right-hand side, turning that onto his left foot, trying to get some curl into it and to beat the goalkeeper right by the post. But unfortunately for Brian Mbumo, wasn't the best of his efforts. It doesn't quite get enough curl on that. And although Onana was diving, never needed to in the end. That one was always heading at least a yard wide. United restarted play quickly with a long goal kick, and so they've also lost possession quickly here as well. Just to tell you, there has been another goal in the Premier League. It's a second goal at Goodison Park, and it's looking like a good afternoon so far for Everton. They lead by 2-0 against Bournemouth, and it's Jack Harrison, the Leeds United loanee. Have I just double check that one? I've said that one out loud. Yes, he is a loanee from. I had to just doubted myself there. Leeds have let a lot of players go in the last window. Admittedly, Harrison certainly one they wanted to keep long term. I mentioned Leeds. They actually are 1-up against Bristol City this afternoon, trying to build on some form. It's Dan James, who was on loan last season, now back at Leeds, and he gets the goal for them against Bristol City today. Big result earlier in the Championship as well, with Sunderland, 10-man Sunderland, losing 4-0 at home to Middlesbrough, just when it looked as though Michael Carrick was losing his grip on that job. The former United player is now getting a bit of a tune out of his Middlesbrough team. But at Old Trafford here now, his former team Manchester United. Oh, that's a strong challenge there from Højlund. I don't think the ref, I say the tone of my voice might have suggested it was a very dangerous challenge. It wasn't. It's just the fact that the way Højlund went in, it looked as though he could have caught Wissa quite badly there. He let the ball overrun. And in fairness to Højlund, he does catch Wissa, but it's more with his leg as he's turning. There's not much of a raised stud there at all from the big Dane, so I don't actually have much of a problem. That is a foul, but it's certainly no more than And Brentford now with this free kick. Szczerbakowicz taking it short now to Ethan Pinnock, who for me has been Brentford's player of the match so far in this first half. It's been excellent in defence, being closed down here by Højlund. Could have been commentator's curse there if he'd made a mistake, but he gets it back to Szczerbakowicz. Quickly over now towards the left-hand side. Hickey in towards Wissa. Picking a long ball out towards the right-hand side now. Roslev heading it back towards Mathias Jensen. And Jensen will be quite glad to hear that that ball had gone out of play, because Jensen, as he was controlling that, he was being closed down there by Højlund. And there was every chance that that could have actually stayed in play, and then United would have been on a counter-attack. But as it is, they're going to have to take this throw on. Lindelof waiting to take it. We do have an equaliser at Turf Moor. It is Burnley 1, Chelsea 1. Just waiting for a confirmation of that goal scorer for Chelsea. It looks like it's Al Dakil with an own goal. Now back here at Old Trafford, United are on the attack, getting towards the edge of the area, and Ayer with the challenge. He's given a free kick away. He's doing the eyes there, Christopher Ayer, like he can't believe that that free kick's been given against him. I mean, he slips, in fairness, but then he does get his body across to stop Marcus Rashford. I mean, in that situation, Christopher Ayer, I don't think he has the right to just roll out of the way and let Rashford go past him, because I don't think his teammates would forgive him for that. It's almost like he has to give that free kick away, because otherwise Rashford's got a free run into the box. But this does mean now that it's a great opportunity to cross the ball here for Bruno Fernandes. And he's that close to the he's that close to goal. He can think about a shot as well. But Fernandes does go for goal. Szczerbakowicz diving across, and I'm not sure if Szczerbakowicz got the final touch, if it was Wissa that got the final touch, but it is out for a United corner. It is Wissa. He does get his head to that just before his keeper's dive. So Wissa taking the risk out for his goalkeeper there. It's a corner kick now for United. An outswinger from Bruno Fernandes. Good header away. It's that man again, Ethan Pinnock. Now towards the edge of the area. Played back by Dalot now over towards the right-hand side. Lifted into the box. Once again, it's Pinnock with a slice clearance this time. I think that might have actually gone out for a corner. So United with another set piece here. We've got 3 minutes to play in this first half, plus injury time, of which there will be a couple of minutes. I can't imagine there should be much more than that. Fernandes, again, standing over this one. Outswinger from him. Good, strong header away. As I say, at the risk of repeating myself, but it was Ethan Pinnock, and now Mbeumo back towards Norgard. That's just a clearance. I think Norgard probably could have held on to that a couple of seconds longer, just giving the ball back to United. They're trying again down the right-hand side. It's Bruno Fernandes with a very audacious outside of the boot pass into the box, but that one is cleared. And suddenly things open up here for Brentford. It's a quick ball down the right-hand side. Jensen picking out Johan Wissa. He's up against Johnny Evans. Still about 5 yards from the edge of the box. Wissa then playing it into Roslev, who hits the deck as he tries to play that one across, trying to get a square pass into Brian Mbeumo. He's challenged, but Brentford will win themselves a corner kick here down the right-hand side. It's Victor Lindelof that's got in the way of Mads Roslev there. Good chance now for Brentford to try and get this ball into the box. Ethan Collins having a quick word with our referee. Not quite sure what the Brentford centre-back was unhappy about there. Perhaps he was reporting something that he'd spotted at a previous set-piece for the referee to keep an eye on. But it is a corner to Brentford now on the left-hand side. In swinger from Mbeumo towards the near post, headed up in the air. It's still in play, is it? No, it's just gone out. Looked to me as though it was Norgard that got his head to that. And as he headed that one across the... It was sort of along the goal line, but looping a little bit too much, and just a bit too much height on that as well. No chance for any Brentford player to get on the end of that. I was about to say Brentford player in the coloured shirt, but it's a very difficult to describe the sort of the third kit that Brentford are wearing today. It's a sort of multicoloured thing that they have on. To say their second kit potentially could have clashed a little bit with United's as well. But looking at the two benches, Brentford bench look a lot more relaxed than the United bench do, and that's no surprise. These are less than a minute away before injury time here, leading 1-0 at Old Trafford. And it's a point I made when it was still 0-0 that United have had this problem in home games this season where they do concede first. And if you have a slow start at home and your opponents feel as though they can get a bit of a march on you, they'll always try and use that, because of course even with the problems that United have had in the most recent past. It is still a difficult place to come, Old Trafford, and well, just as I say that though, United have given it away here as Casemiro gives the ball to Wisso, takes a shot himself, which was a poor option there from the Congolese forward. He should have looked to try and find a teammate there, really. Clearance from Onana now down the middle, headed forward by Ayer, still kept alive here by United. Rashford hits the deck feeling like he was fouled. Referee has his hand up to say we're playing an advantage, but United keep the ball moving. It's with Dalot now on the right hand side. His cross is charged down by Janelt. Maguire over towards Amrabat now. We are into injury time and there aren't going to be 2 minutes of it. So United still with enough time to try and do something here in this these final stages of the first half. Rashford now gets the ball, a left-hand edge of the penalty area, had no option to get into the box, goes back towards Harry Maguire, and now he plays it square to Dalot. Dalot's ball into the box, it's headed up in the air, it's heading towards goal, and Strakosha just gets to it. I'm not sure that Højlund's got a touch. In actual fact, it would have been irrelevant, because in the meantime, the linesman puts his flag up anyway. Excuse me, so there would have been an offside against Manchester United in any case. And yeah, we can see that Rashford was just straying. In fact, it was Casemiro that got a bit further forward than usual, and he was actually the one that caused that particular offside. A minute of injury time still to play. In actual fact, Yohan Wissa has just given a free kick away there, bumping into Harry Maguire. Given as a free kick by our official. Amrabat taking it quickly here to Bruno Fernandes. Too quickly, the referee is not happy with where United have taken that free kick from. So it's being quite pedantic here is Mr. Madley. So, as I say, I suppose it's easy to be forceful in these sorts of situations. I mean, where Onana has put the ball down now is exactly the same spot where the referee wasn't happy about the free kick being taken 20 seconds ago. So, as I say, obviously I think just wanted to make a point because Onana's allowed to take that free kick now. And it's a long ball from the United keeper towards the edge of the area. It's too long. And there's an offside in any case. Maguire felt as though he was being fouled as he went after that ball, but it doesn't make any difference because the flag goes up. Harry Maguire was offside. We've had the full 2 minutes. I'm not even sure if Strakosha will get time to take this goal kick. Referee could just call time at the end of this first half. And it's not been an auspicious half for United by any stretch. They've had moments where they've looked like they're getting into some sort of gear, moments where they've had a little bit of energy, a little bit of pace about what they're doing, but most of the time it has been quite pedestrian from the home side, and that's all we're going to get in this first half. Manchester United trail Brentford by 1-0. It's Mathias Jensen who gave the Bees the lead on 26 minutes. United with some work to do in the second half, and I'll be back in 15 minutes for second half off Tube Studio Commentary.